Let me ask you one simple question. What do you think of when the words analog horror come to mind? The stuff that I think of personally is Local 58, the Mandela Catalog, the Backroom series by Kane Pixels, etc. And I'd imagine that this is what many of you thought of as well. These videos can be pretty unnerving, are pretty well made technically, and have good storylines, so it gets people to flock to them, with endless amounts of praise being dished out. But what if I told you that there's another side to the genre, with some of the least scary videos that you will ever lay your eyes upon? Well, that would be SpongeBob horror. Yes, people think you can make this yellow sponge scary. How funny. Most of these videos take the form of some sort of hijacking or glitch happening during the airing of an episode. Some of them even just straight up take the form of lost episodes, which is a big creepypasta trend a few years ago. And these SpongeBob horror videos have been getting traction for the past few years. Some are creative, some are laughably bad, and some are in between. But none of them even come close to being scary at all. And I find these to be pretty funny, to be honest, so I wanted to make a video about it. Now, before I get into this, I want to put a big disclaimer here. Do not harass anyone that I mentioned in this video. Most of these people are making incredibly harmless videos and aren't hurting anyone. So they don't deserve people brigading their pages because they made some funny analog horror videos. I respect these guys for continuing to be creative, even if I don't personally find the videos to be necessarily good. And with that out of the way, let's get into making fun of some projects. The first one I want to talk about is 7/25/2005. And before I get into this, let me provide some extra context. Every now and then, someone will make a certain video or ARG, and the concept of it gets copy and pasted all over online by people wanting to make their own versions of it, and this is the most popular example. 7/25/2005 goes like this. There was a glitch or hijacking happening during the airing of 2 episodes. Your shoe's untied and Gary takes a bath. And instead of just describing what happens during this, let me just play a clip here for you.
So hi, SpongeBob. SpongeBob?
I like watching these videos in an ironic sense, but if you judge it for what it is, it just kind of sucks as actual horror. I respect the original creator for it, and I'm not trying to put them down in any way, but these videos are just kind of laughable. It's essentially just this. What if SpongeBob starts to glitch and weird things start to happen? Wouldn't that be scary? Which has been overused for almost any type of horror thing on the internet, and it might have worked if it was done realistically, but it just wasn't at all. It's just very dumb. And some of the videos I've seen put this weird reversed song somewhere in there for whatever reason. It's not creepy, it just reminds me of old creepypasta cliches from like 2012. And not to spoil the rest of this video, but this is essentially what most SpongeBob analog horror videos are. At least with 7/25/2005, even if it was done in a funny way, at least a TV channel glitching is something that could actually happen, so it's based in reality. But other videos would push things to absolutely absurd levels. Let's talk about the Resignation Incident here for a second, because this is one of the funniest ones to me. To give a quick summary of this one, a broadcast hijacking apparently happened during a 24/7 SpongeBob marathon back in 2009, with a former Nickelodeon employee being responsible for it. And the stuff that happened during the hijacking consisted of glitches, SpongeBob characters changing faces to whatever the hell this is. Ooh, so spooky. Some weird visuals happened during this as well. And it ended with the employee airing a message to Nickelodeon about the workplace treatment at the company. Yeah, this one kind of sucks as well, to be honest. The stuff that happened here is essentially impossible to have happened in real life. Hijacking itself would be hard to do, but at least it has some sort of realm of possibility, since it actually happened in real life before. But what doesn't make sense in this whole series is this former Nickelodeon employee editing the face of a character on a currently airing episode live. I'm no expert on how analog television works or how TV stations air episodes, but this just does not seem possible. But even if we remove that stuff for a second, this is not scary at all. Wow, SpongeBob was airing, but all of a sudden spooky face and audio appears. I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight, guys. It's just very dumb. Most videos about Nickelodeon hijackings are pretty lacking in general. It feels like everyone copies each other's ideas and doesn't exactly try to make anything original. And to top it off, I just genuinely don't believe that you can make SpongeBob scary. Maybe to like a 7-year-old, sure. I can imagine how this can get you nightmares. I was unsettled by creepypastas as a kid. I get it. But to anyone else, I don't really see how this can be scary. And don't get me started on the ones that try to be edgy just to get attention, like 606 2006. I wouldn't recommend that anyone goes out trying to search for this video, as it could legitimately give you seizures, but their idea of scary content was pretending that Steven Hillenburg murdered his wife. I feel like if you had to go that far to make your story interesting, then you didn't really have anything there of note to begin with. At least with the other videos, I feel like there was an actual attempt made. This is just lazy, and quite frankly, I don't really feel like giving this one any more attention than I already have, so let's move on. I want to leave off this video with talking about a channel that I actually do like to an extent. I don't necessarily find it to be scary, like at all, but I come away from it with a genuine appreciation of what they made and how much effort goes into it. And that's the creator Tapeworm's We'll Be Right Back series. I want to clarify, by the way, that even though this is about SpongeBob horror, this is not even close to the main thing that this series does, but this series is kind of in the same niche, so I thought I should mention it. Funny YouTube username aside, these are some actually pretty well made videos. I'd recommend actually going ahead and watching these for yourself if you're interested, but to give a quick summary, the series is about the fictional cable service Teleblue. It revolves around something called the Virtual Analysis Line, or VAL for short, and this program, AI, whatever you call it, can generate custom broadcasts, with these being referred to as broadcast anomalies instead of hijacks. And to be honest, this is definitely the best way to go about making these analog horror videos. This is an actually interesting concept that, at least for some of it, was actually thought out. I'm not gonna pretend like it's perfect. Some of the series still does the classic creepypasta trope every now and then, but it's way better than the other videos I've talked about here. And while I don't find pretty much any of this to be unnerving or scary, to be honest, I do respect the time and effort that went into making this, because I can tell that some real passion went into making these videos, and that's appealing to me on its own. And let me conclude the video with this. Even though I trash on a good few SpongeBob analog horror videos, I still think that YouTube is a better place with these in it. For me personally, there's a sense of ironic enjoyment out of it, and it seems like these videos have spawned a community of sorts that is really passionate about this sort of thing. So it's done more good than bad. Plus, these videos are completely harmless. There's actually harmful content on YouTube, and this doesn't even come close to meeting that standard. It's just dumb SpongeBob videos, and people should be allowed to make whatever they want. I just don't like it personally. I'll be making a follow-up video to this one when I get the time, where I just react to some of these videos with a friend. So if you want to leave any suggestions for what we should react to in the comments, please do. It's gonna be a fun time. And with that, I'm done with this video. Oh yeah, one last thing. #FLM.